Greetings ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another battle, and it's gonna be again another mirror matchup, but this time instead of being a TVT it's a PvP. As you guys know, since patch 133 things have changed a little bit. I mean, Forgate is perfectly doable still, but there's more options for the Protoss player at the moment, and I'm hoping for that to happen on this battle, since it involves two very creative and very well-known members of the community. But let me present them to you, might be easier than just blabber about it. Spawning here on this south position, we're gonna have the red Protoss, LiquidHuK. LiquidHuK, Canadian Protoss player living in Korea for quite a long time now. He's a member of Team Liquid, doing quite well in Korea currently. He's on Code S. He fought his way through Code A. He was struggling there by a little while, and he's finally able to clinch a spot, doing fairly well on the Super Tournament that is currently going on in Korea, and well, has a well-deserved Code S spot for him, a sign of his skills and his commitment to the game. He's going to be facing against this blue Protoss spawning here on this north position on Metalopolis. That name, EtdJbaker. I'm not sure if all of you guys know this name, but it's the nickname that LoveTT, the Chinese pro-gamer from BroodWar, decided to use on the Korean ladder so he could lurk around without anyone knowing it was him. LoveTT, or I'm gonna call him Baker probably sometimes as well during the fights, I'm sure of it. When things get excited, I also get excited and just start forgetting what I'm supposed to say. But like I was saying, LoveTT is an old BroodWar veteran. He represented China on World Cyber Games several times. I think his best was a 4th place on the World Cyber Games 2008, and he is a solid Protoss player. Quite good. He's been lurking on the Korean ladder for a long time. He didn't want it to be recognized, identified, so basically he found out this nickname and just went on to practice against the best in the whole world, trying to evolve his game, so when the time comes for him to reveal his identity, he would be already on top of his game and ready to crush some nerds. So taking a look at what's going on this match, let me just take the title here. As you can see, we have LoveTT taking a look around at LiquidHuK's base. The build is still going its normal way for now, as you can see, gateway into Cybercore. Here HuK is doing the same with his hero probe, just going back and forth on LoveTT's base. LoveTT also gateway into Cybercore. He's already playing with one gas, and on HuK's side he already has both gas, so a fairly quick second gas here might be a sign of something. He might be planning to start racking up a lot of gas on the early stages of the game. For now there's not much of an opposition, as you can see, on both sides, so the probes can just roam around and check everything. There's Baker now, or LoveTT, grabbing his second gas as well, while Chrono boosting his Warp Gate technology. Warp Gate technology now takes a little longer, so it doesn't allow for that big pressure Forgate early on the game, and allows your opponent to defend a bit more, or at least able to reinforce and muster up his forces just a little bit longer. For now, on both sides, taking a look at the builds, we do see LiquidHuK going for 3 gateways. I wonder if he's gonna plan and go for some kind of 3 gateway expand, which is a build that is getting quite popular amongst Protoss players at the moment, and it's quite safe, a solid one, allows you to have some proper defenses in case you get harassed, but I guess you have to wait and see a little bit longer. While here on LoveTT's side, he's going for 2 more gateways, but almost finishing a Twilight Council. So what is he planning? Will it be to get some really fast tech for his units, or maybe some DTs later on? I guess that might be another option that LoveTT will have under consideration, but no, there it is. The second that the Twilight Council finishes, he goes instantly for Blink and Chrono boosting it, meaning that he wants Blink Stalkers as fast as possible. A probe trying to advance there, but with 2 Stalkers on the ramp waiting for it. He didn't even enter the base, so wasn't able to take more information. I don't think that HuK is aware of what's getting built inside LoveTT's base. No, he only saw the gateway in Cybercore. While from LoveTT, what did he gathered from HuK's base? Let's take a look. Yeah, gateway, Cybercore, so there wasn't much for them to gather between themselves. Well, I do see that now HuK is going for the robotics facility, meaning that he might be wanting to get a probe, observer out soon enough so he can take a look at his opponent's base. That that probe that he sent wasn't able to enter the base, so he doesn't have much information at the moment. And one of the worst things that can happen on this game is just playing blind and not knowing exactly what your opponent is doing. So I'm assuming that we might be seeing HuK getting an observer soon, but for now he's actually pumping out some immortals, and he's gonna use them to just blast some huge holes onto the Stalker force that is advancing from LoveTT. LoveTT doesn't have much of a force here. I mean, it's 6 Stalkers, nice force field play there by HuK, containing the advancement. Keep in mind that the Stalkers already have blink, meaning that they might be able to blink into the main base as long as they have visibility to the top of the base. That might be doable with an observer. I'm not sure if LoveTT is gonna try to commit himself too much to that kind of offense. For now, he's basically containing the movements from HuK, and while HuK just plays with force fields and contains the movements from Baker. But I don't think LoveTT is willing to just advance and try to sacrifice all of his units into breaking HuK this early on the game. He saw the units from HuK, now there's the Immortal there as well that packs a huge punch into Stalkers, and I think the plan was just to contain HuK, give him a sign, a warning that he needs to play defensively, he needs to be careful and do not risk to expand anytime soon, while at the same time, behind that offensive that LoveTT was planning, he was getting his Nexus on the natural Exo. So nice move here by LoveTT, attacking while expanding, benefiting his economy game, and now we finally have HuK coming out with his Stalkers to try to make a bit of scouting here, take a look at what's going on, if there's any forces from LoveTT around, and actually there's some forces here. Now with LoveTT pulling back, trying to gather them in the front of the natural Expo, I'm assuming, while an observer were advancing by HuK. So we might be seeing HuK taking all the information he wants. There it is. He basically took all the information he needed and wanted from the build from LoveTT, and now we do see LoveTT heading back home, establishing his defenses on the high ground, while the Blink Stalkers from HuK were trying to poke and prod at those units, but forced to pull back once more. LiquidHuK just retreating for now, while he plans ahead and keeps building inside his base. As you can see, he went first for the robotics facility, but also has the Twilight Council, hence the Blink Stalkers. Obviously already researched the Blink, also grabbing now his natural Expo. So we do have on the economy game LoveTT a bit ahead. The moment he's able to transfer some workers here and start benefiting from the worker count and the 2 mineral lines, he's gonna boost ahead on the economy. But seems like that HuK won't be falling behind by too long, since his Nexus, let's take a look, nah, not even halfway done, so it's gonna take him a little while. On the worker count is 30-30, so not much of a difference there. And how many gateways do we already have? 3 there. Also the Twilight Council robotics facility getting an observer out, while HuK with his observer keeps tabs on all the movement and any new builds inside LoveTT's base. LoveTT doesn't have any way at the moment of spotting this observer, so getting his own observer will allow him probably to shoot it down. And we do see that LoveTT is positioning his forces here on this area, this large area that gives access to his natural Expo, to make sure that if HuK tries to advance and make a push into his natural Expo, you won't be able to reach the mineral line without a fight. Inside the HuK's base, let's take a look here. What is he getting for now? He's reinforcing his army. We do have 76 against 73, so a fairly close supply count there. But on the units, let's compare and see what's going on here. 1 sentry, 16 stalkers, 1 immortal for HuK, and 17 stalkers and 2 zealots for LoveTT. So different unit compositions. This immortal might tip the scale in favor of HuK, as you might imagine, especially on stalker versus stalker army. That immortal will make a lot of damage on his opponent's stalkers. And then we have a couple of zealots, but I don't think they're going to be very relevant, at least on that number. Maybe if he gathers more, and that might be the case because as you can see, we have LoveTT preparing the charge for his zealots, so we might be seeing charge lots soon enough, and we're gonna have a big confrontation here. No, actually the forces passing each other without noticing, and all of a sudden we have HuK with his mass stalker army advancing here to the natural Expo from LoveTT and sniping that Nexus. Nice move, catching LoveTT off guard, and now LoveTT finally arriving with his stalkers, force field play ensuing there, trying to contain the movements. 0-0 stalkers for LoveTT against HuK's stalkers that are 0-0 as well, both of them with blink. And there it is, LoveTT just trying to grab this small pack of Stalkers that got left behind, and is gonna destroy them and finish them off. But he had a big toll to pay there. I mean, he lost his Nexus, he's gonna have to rebuild his base, and on the economy now, HuK is gonna start thriving and boosting away, while LoveTT will have to rebuild his natural expo to start benefiting from the income. So this is gonna delay him a little bit, but seems like that LoveTT is not gonna settle. He knows that now he's gonna be falling behind on the economy, so he's go straight for the Nexus on the rich mineral field. Risky maneuver, bold maneuver, yes, but might be worth it. While LoveTT's forces advance here, trying to poke on this entrance to the natural expo from HuK. Not much of a result coming out of here, just a small skirmish, and now pulling back. I think that LoveTT knows that he needs to reinforce his army. Really close on the supply, 94.90 at the moment. Econ-wise, we have HuK pulling a little bit ahead, obviously a sign that LoveTT lost his natural expo, so his economy is hurting a little bit, but it's almost finished there, and at the same time, he's almost finishing the Nexus on the rich mineral field, so soon enough, his economy is gonna start booming, and that might translate into a huge army. 5 gateway, 6 gateway play inside LoveTT's main base. On HuK's side, let's take a look. 3 gateways there, 4, 5. We have 5 gateway against 6 gateway at the moment. Immortals and Zealots getting mixed up there, so an interesting unit composition. No charge on that situation. We have a couple of Zealots advancing here from LiquidHuK, probably just trying to take a look at what's going on the natural expo. He passed right through the rich mineral field, so HuK isn't aware that LoveTT is already there, and with these 2 Zealots he's trying to make a lot of economy damage by halting the production and the mining on the natural expo. These 2 Zealots obviously will be able to destroy a lot of this mineral line unless LoveTT pulls some defenses here, and there it is, finally some of his Zealots with charge already showing up and starting to slice down LiquidHuK's Zealots. Meanwhile, notice the income now. We're gonna have a big gap here with the LoveTT boosting ahead by a lot, 1800, and HuK decides to push. It's time for him to push out of this two base play. His army is not even close to maxed out, obviously, but nor the one from LoveTT, and you're gonna have a massive clash ensuing here in the middle of the map, close to that rich mineral field, with LoveTT trying to defend his rich mineral field and make sure he's gonna keep thriving on his economy. Those Immortals trying to pack a huge punch on all of those Stalkers, but they're getting focused down and killed instantly. Nice micro by HuK, just microing and blinking back all of his hurt Stalkers, making sure he's going to be able to maintain the DPS and not going to lose any units. And with LoveTT doing exactly the same, and now pulling back into his rich mineral field to make a final stand here, a last ditch effort to maintain his his rich mineral field alive and kicking, with another small incursion coming from the left side. So basically at the moment a pincer attack by LiquidHuK, but the force coming from the left side isn't that big. Shooting down that pylon, trying to reduce the supply count from LoveTT, and the battle ensues with the Stalkers from LiquidHuK getting really hurt, as you guys can check. And there's another small battle ensuing on the other side of the map with a couple of Zealots and some Stalkers battling out, while the Stalkers from HuK finally reach the range to start shooting down at that mineral field, but there's not much left of LiquidHuK's forces, and the Stalkers and Zealots from LoveTT able to defend there with a really impeccable defense and impeccable micro, forcing LiquidHuK to GG out of this game, because he knows that his opponent is playing out of 3 bases and he wasn't able to destroy his 3rd, so he realized how far behind he would be economically. Notice as well the amount of workers that he had here, so I guess that he just decided that it was way too far behind and worthless of the effort. He would get crushed soon enough, as soon as LoveTT would be able to get close to a maxed out army. So well, game done. An interesting matchup actually, no 4 gate on any of the sides. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you all later, have fun.